In this video, I'm going to tell you about some of the reasons people leave their jobs. If you're going through these, then maybe leaving is something you should consider. This is Productivity ACE. Let's get it done. There are many reasons why someone might want to leave a role, but typically you get repeated reasons coming up all the time that you see in people who aren't happy. No career advancement. One of the top reasons for not wanting to continue in a role is the lack of career advancement. For many people, staying in a job and doing that same job all the time at the same level is perfectly fine. And yes, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not something to criticize anyone for. Many people do an excellent job. Many people do the same job for decades really well and are happy and productive doing it. The problem arises when people either find that job not challenging enough or are performing consistently at a high level with great evaluations and appraisals every year. In situations like that, the company really needs to look at advancement of the role, stretching that person and challenging them more, so the individual continues to be stretched and feels that sense of appreciation. But sometimes, even if the company recognizes high performance, there isn't actually anywhere to go. Can you take your boss's job? Well, that assumes that your boss is able to also move up or out. If the company hierarchy is saturated with expensive senior manager roles, then opportunities for you to move up become limited. And if you've got a high performer, well, losing motivation and morale as their continued excellence doesn't open any career doors will be a real problem. For the next tip, if you get even a little bit of useful information from this video or any of the other videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. YouTube loves it. And if you've left the job for another reason, well, leave a comment and let us know. I'm really interested to hear the reasons that you might have moved on in your career. Salary not moving. In a similar way to a lack of career role advancement, the lack of salary progression can be an issue that causes people to move. In my experience, money isn't actually the prime motivator for most people. I've seen that being appreciated, having an interesting role, and being rewarded will trump salary. But yes, it is still important. And if you've been working for years with hardly any progression in salary, then that might be the sign you need to move. These days, money is tight and salaries are carefully controlled. So if you can't see a way to get an increase, then looking around could be your best option. Companies aren't just going to necessarily increase salaries when they can get away with keeping them flat or minimal. Relationship with peers. I've heard it said that you shouldn't allow other people to determine whether you stay at a company in a job or not. But that's easy to say. In reality, the quality of relationships that people have with their immediate co-workers is absolutely critical. I'm sure you've all worked in teams that are less than perfect. In fact, you might have worked in teams where the people are downright toxic. There's nothing worse than dreading your co-worker pulling up a chair next to you. It can affect every aspect of your productivity and delivery. If you find that your team has more than its fair share of bad apples, then it might be time to look elsewhere. The problem there is that you don't necessarily know what situation you might be walking into in another company. It could even be worse. Another reason you might want to leave your job is you've been over-promoted. Okay, so let's say you do get that career movement you want. You get that promotion into a more senior role and it's all looking good. You've got way more responsibility, a bigger budget, more people, and of course a hell of a lot more pressure and expectation on you. While some companies are super stingy with their promotions, others are a lot more generous, and some are over-generous. I've actually seen it a few times where somebody performing very well at a certain level has been promoted into a senior role far too early and without the necessary support. They've been left to fend for themselves and they flounder, and it's an awful thing to see, and it usually leads to that person leaving either voluntarily or otherwise. So be careful of the over-promotion. Be careful what you wish for. Everybody wants to move on in their career, but it has to be at the right time and with the right support. Your commute sucks. This is less of a challenge in the current COVID world that we live in at the moment, where a commute involves a flight of stairs, but one of the key reasons for moving jobs is that nightmare commute. That can happen because of a house move or an office relocation, or simply down to the fact you've got a nightmare train line or serious traffic hotspots on your route to work. And there's only so much somebody can take. If you find that you're spending hours of unproductive time commuting to your job all the time, making you more tired, more stressed, then that's a good reason to think that a job isn't for you. And things like that can really lead to burnout, stress, and mental health issues. The commute is so important. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're getting subscribers piling on all the time. It's fantastic. The growth of the channel is superb. I'm getting loads of great feedback, loads of people interested in what we're trying to do here at Productivity ACE. So thanks very much for your support as well. So there we are, 5 more reasons why you might want to consider leaving your job. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.